Walker.
Vicki didn't say anything about herself, but she's one of the leaders here in the marketplace, just an awesome person, knows 100% of the facts, and I just absolutely love her, so can we give her a round of applause? So before I get started, so I went to this seminar a couple years ago now, but it talked about if you're having a bad day or if you just want to raise your energy level, some things that you can do. And so one of the things that they suggested that I really like is you put your hand in the air like this, and then on the count of 3, you're going to bring your arm down like this, and you're going to say yes. Okay, really loud, right? That way we can increase the energy in the whole room. Have people in the other meeting rooms run over here to see what we're doing. All right, so you guys ready? All right, 1, 2, 3, yes! All right, let's get started. So like Vicki said, my background is chemistry. I have a degree in chemistry. Like most people, parents, they say, go to school, get good grades, you can get a great job. Went to college, got a degree in chemistry, made legal drugs for a living, and went on to toxicology work, where I actually learned more about the drugs and how it affects the body. The issue with that was, in the beginning, first year, actually it started off when I was an intern, got laid off from an internship, then every year, 2 years after that, kept getting laid off, so although I had a good job, I just couldn't keep that good job, and it wasn't by my doing. And so, the first time I got laid off, no problem. It was about May or June. Hung out at the beach. Second time I got laid off, no big deal. Third, fourth time, I got laid off about 7 times. So about the third time, then it became a problem because then I had a car note. Then a year or 2 later, I had a mortgage payment. So that's when it became tough because it became very stressful. Every time I got laid off, I was blindsided. I didn't know it was coming. What am I going to do now? And so a couple years ago, a handful of years now, I found LegalShield. What happened was my grandmother said, hey, can you take me to this meeting? Sure, anything for my grandmother. We went to this meeting like this. She saw the information, I saw the information, and we both actually got started. And so now today my grandmother's actually 88 years old. So with that, I'll go into personal growth. This is LegalShield, in case anyone's here for something else. Just to let you know. You know how when you get onto an airplane and they say, where we're going, we're headed to New York, we just want to make sure everyone's on the right flight. So we just want to make sure you're on the right flight. So personal growth, professional opportunity, and powerful journey. And with that, the business models of today, they are simple, disruptive, noble, and not easily duplicated, and they don't have an app. Right now, that's what I look for. If your business doesn't have an app, then I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to go to the website, I'm trying to look on my phone. If you don't have an app, are you a legit business? So this is Blockbuster. So back in the days, everyone here is fairly young, so I'm pretty sure nobody remembers Blockbuster. But let me tell you about Blockbuster. What happened was you can actually call them, or you can show up, say, hey, can you reserve this movie for me? I want to get this movie. Oh yeah, great, it's here, but by the time you get there, it's not there anymore because somebody else picked it up. So now you have to basically watch another movie you don't really want to watch. Netflix, you can actually pick this up from anywhere. You can watch a movie, TV show from the comfort of work, the comfort of home, the comfort from the store, and it's a disruptive technology. We weren't able to do that back in the days. How many people know what this is? Or what is this actually? Bookstore, library possibly. Now we have Amazon. So now people actually don't go to the bookstore. What I do actually, I do love Barnes & Nobles. I'll go to Barnes & Noble and I'll look at the book, and if it's not in a price range that I like, I'll go and order on Amazon right in the Barnes & Noble bookstore. I'm always price shopping, or if I'm at the store, if I don't like the price of an item I'm about to buy, well, let me just take a look, see how much it is on Amazon. Or what I actually did, I found this really cool picture frame, and it talks to you. I had the AAA batteries, but I didn't have the little circular batteries that it needed. I said, oh man, I gotta go to a battery store and see what kind of battery, see where I can find this battery. Oh wait, no, I can just Google it and see who has it online. And so that's where we're at right now. We're with these disruptive companies who have an app, and so that's what we're gonna transition into right now. The previous companies that I talked about, they all disrupted a market. They didn't create that market, they just disrupted it and made it better. Another example, for instance, is Uber and Lyft. And so that's what we're actually doing with the legal industry right now. currently, as it is, it's expensive, unresponsive, and unaccountable. But what we're doing is we're revolutionizing the legal industry using LegalShield in this app that we have right now. So with that, I'll jump into the information. What we're doing is we're making the legal system more affordable, more accountable, and more responsive. So now, when you're calling an attorney, you actually don't have to worry about, okay, I gotta talk really fast because attorneys charge me per hour, and then attorney talks really slow, so they can charge me per hour. You don't have to worry about that. With the LegalShield, it's affordable and responsive. They get back to you right away. They answer within 8 business hours. They answer your questions, and you don't have to worry about a bill at the end. This is the founder of our company right here. And what happened, how the company actually got started back in 1972 was the founder of the company, Harlan Stonecipher, actually got into an auto accident. He got into an accident, the woman came over, not that it mattered, a person came over, hit him in the other lane, and that's his car right there. And what happened was he had auto insurance to protect his car, he had health insurance to pay for his medical bills, and he had life insurance in case he passed away. While he was in the hospital recovering, the woman that hit him decided to sue him. So now he's in the hospital recovering, but now he has to protect himself. What he didn't have was legal insurance. And so that's how he came up with the concept of LegalShield, by studying what at the time was in what Europe had at the time. And so our purpose is to protect and empower people. Our vision is to provide equal access to the liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice. And our mission is to help improve people's lives by teaching life-transforming skills and deliver exceptional products and services. So common legal situations. So of course, like me, most people think, wait a minute, I've never used an attorney, why do I need an attorney? And I thought the same thing. But then the person who was presenting at the time, when I had one with my grandma, they said, keep an open mind. Think about, don't be reactive. So a lot of us think, I don't need an attorney, but hold on, wait a minute. Think of the times where you could have used one, where the use of an attorney may have made a situation better. So then I started thinking about all the times, and then I just got upset. I was like, man, I should have had this a long time ago. But look at the list, consumer finance, estate planning, landlord-tenant issues. That's a big one. A lot of the times if you move into a place, they ask for first and last months, they ask for a deposit. You move out, the place looks pristine, you spent 3 days cleaning, they don't want to give you a deposit because there's a bleach stain on the floor that you didn't cause, that you have a picture of prior to you moving in. But what do you do in that situation? They're not giving your money back. Well, you can contact your law firm. Or for instance, I have a friend who, the cost of her house that they're renting, they basically renovated this house for free because that's what her husband does, but now they were in a year contract, but now it keeps going up.
Wow.
So they did these renovations for free, the landlord keeps increasing the price, but if they would have had the contract reviewed prior to moving in, maybe they could have been locked into a longer contract, or they could have gotten a discount on the rent that they're paying based on the upgrades that they're making. So just some examples: general law, business, personal injury. And so this is actually the app that we're going to talk about right now. The cool thing about this app is that from the comfort of your phone, the comfort from anywhere, you can actually just click the button and call the law firm. Call the law firm, ask them whatever questions you want. I actually called them yesterday, and then we're playing phone tag, so I talked to them today. The reason why I called yesterday, and this is the great thing, I received a letter in the mail from lawsuitissue.com. Okay, so I'm thinking, well, I have LegalShield, so before things that used to freak me out no longer freak me out, but I was a little freaked out because I'm like, who's suing me? Because that's what it basically said. It said basically, somebody in Riverside County is suing you, and if you want help with the lawsuit, call us. And so I said, okay, great, I got something for you. I'll just call LegalShield. Called LegalShield, sent them over the information, and they said, well, this doesn't make any sense. It was something like Wilmington versus JP Morgan. So the case, my information was on there, but what they told me, I can call Riverside County, or I can go on their website. You have the case number, you have the information on there, and ask them for something like the complaint something. But they gave me exactly what to do. They said they didn't think it was legit, but just in case, since all the information's there, I can go and look and see what the complaint is. But just the power of having the law firm, because I wouldn't have known what to do with that. I would just ignored it, and then if they sent it to me again, then I would have freaked out and probably called them. So it's just the power of having an attorney. Document preparation, so depending on if you have, like immigration for instance, is a big thing right now. I actually use the services with my husband who's from Kenya, document preparation, auto coverage, family law. The great thing about IRS support actually is that if you're ever audited, they will actually go to court with you. If needed, they can advise you on what to do, but they'll actually go to court with you. You can have your tax preparer there as well, or your accountant. The great thing about this is that they can tell you what to answer and what not to answer. And in some cases, they'll just answer the questions for you if they know that they can do that. Oh, this part is awesome right here. Has anyone ever got a speeding ticket? Okay, so majority of everybody has gotten a speeding ticket. I've gotten a speeding ticket, completely different state, driving from, I was in Boston, had to go through New Hampshire to get to Vermont. So I was in Vermont, hanging out a little too long with my friend. I was speeding, really. Driving back to Boston to catch a flight, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do if I miss my flight? So I'm speeding, get pulled over. This cop was awesome, he actually pulled 2 people over. So pulled over, gave me a ticket. So when I got home, I actually called the law firm. At the time, they didn't have this feature, which is awesome, but I called the law firm, sent the law firm here in California the ticket, they sent to the law firm in Vermont. The attorney in Vermont actually went to court for me, which was awesome. Even if nothing good came out of that, the fact that the attorney in Vermont went to court for me and I didn't have to go. So he went to court, him and the officer talked, they said, yeah, she was speeding. But the cool thing about that is they dismissed the fine and only had to pay $35 for court costs. So you don't actually have to freak out. You get pulled over, you get a ticket, take a picture of it, upload it, send it to the law firm, put it in the glove compartment and go about your day, and they'll call you back within 8 business hours. Will. This is something really important right now. A lot of the times, the only time we really hear about this is if it affects us or our family directly. Now we're hearing about movie stars, superstars who don't have a will. And this is very important because this is the last love letter that you're going to write to your family. And for instance, with children, a lot of people have kids. Well, both in-laws, sisters, brothers, everybody might be awesome on every side of the family. However, you don't want them fighting over who's going to get the kids. You want to be able to say, you know what, it was this person's wishes that my sister got the kids and everyone else can visit, versus everybody fighting over it and it actually hurting the kids in the end. So just one example of the importance of a will. And you just might have things that you want to leave to somebody, your house, your car. Living will is very important if you're ever in the hospital. Just being able to make the decision on what you want done with your life and not having to worry about somebody else making that decision or your family fighting over it. Power of attorney for healthcare purposes, or somebody that you trust can actually make that decision for you. We just added this new feature right here, the durable power of attorney. That's actually for financial situations. So if you're in the hospital or you're incapacitated and you can't make decisions, who's going to handle your finances for you? And so there's a very, very important areas that are actually covered with the membership. More information about the will. The great thing about the will is that you can actually start it from your app. You can start it using the app. And so you can start it at work, you can start it at home, you can start it at the store, or you can pick up and continue while you're waiting at the store. The great thing about phones now, I feel like people aren't communicating as more, but I feel like people don't have attitudes if they're waiting in a long line at the bank or the store because everybody's on their phone. So the great thing about that is that you start feeling, like for me, start feeling myself getting attitude. I'm like, hey, let me start on my will. let me be productive right now. A 24-hour emergency access. This part is awesome. Most people think, getting pulled over by the police, which is a huge one. You definitely need something like this. The great thing about having access to an attorney, if you do get pulled over in a situation and you feel like you shouldn't have gotten pulled over, you don't have to get upset. You can just call your attorney and let your attorney deal with the police officer. Other examples, auto accidents. One of my friends used this service because his girlfriend at the time was going to take their son. They weren't getting along, she was going to take their son. He felt things were going to escalate, so he called the law firm just so that the law firm can actually walk him through the situation. Injured at work, you can actually use a provider or law firm. Any contingency cases, you can use the law firm as well. So the malpractice or anything like that, auto accident, you can use the law firm. Another area that I like, the 25% off discount, if you already need an attorney. So you have a contested divorce, you have a DUI or something like that where you're already going to have to get an attorney, why not get a discount for it? And the services are attorneys that you actually can trust. They're AV-rated attorneys. And so I used this service when my husband was in Kenya. Long story short, he got somewhat deported, had to go back. We had to file his paperwork to get him back. I used this part. I could have filled out the paperwork myself, faxed it to the law firm, have them review it, then I send it out. What I use this part for is because I wanted it to actually just show up and sign paperwork. So I got a $2,500 discount, and the attorneys handled everything, and I basically just signed paperwork. And so that's the power of using this. So I was going to get an attorney anyway. How many people like discounts? I love discounts. And so does anybody have T-Mobile? T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T? Anybody go to the movies, go to a restaurant lately? Movie theaters, especially now, movie tickets are expensive. You want to get a discount on the movie tickets. From the comfort of your app, you actually just click on, up here it says member perks, just click on members perks. You're at AMC, you can get a discount, or if you're at Edwards Theater, you can actually get a discount. If you're going out of town, you want to look at hotels, you can get a discount. And a lot of the time, the savings that members save just in this one area is enough to cover the membership for the whole month. I actually used this to get the car that I have, actually saved another $2,500 on the car, and that was before I started negotiating. Wow. And so that alone covered my membership for years, just the fact that I got $2,500 off my car. Wow. How many people have heard of identity theft? Yeah, so there's tons of news going on about identity theft right now. So many data breaches right now. Equifax is a big one. UC San Diego, or the UC system actually had one. Uber had one recently. And so there's been so many. I actually got a letter from, and I didn't really get the letter. It was a letter from AT&T, and I don't have AT&T, but it said, hey, you don't have our services. We weren't breached. Equifax was breached, but in case you need us, call us. What does that even mean? I don't have your service, and you weren't breached. Were you just trying to notify me that Equifax was breached? Well, guess what? I got a letter from Equifax as well, so I already knew that one. Okay, so who's covered? The member's spouse, any never married dependent children under the age of 26 living at home, and any physically or mentally disabled children living at home. And so, which would you choose? One attorney charging $250, or would you actually join LegalShield, where for $1 a day you actually get a whole law firm? And then all this great information about ID Shield. And so with ID Shield, we actually do have an app. And so these are just some of the areas, the common areas of identity theft. So tax returns, medical claims, driver's license, Social Security, monitoring and alerts. These are all the different things that we monitor. The great thing about this that no other company offers is we actually do social media monitoring. And the thing about that right now, everyone's passwords and everything, they're all connected. So if somebody hacks into your Instagram, well, now they have your email address, they have your Facebook information, they have your Twitter information, and they can basically start piecing stuff together and having more information, actually being able to steal your identity. A lot of the times people think, oh, well, somebody can have my identity, I don't care. Well, criminals don't want your bank account. They don't want your money, because what they're going to do is steal your identity and write bad checks in your name. So the money is the least of your worries. Right now, there's a thing called synthetic identity shield, or identity theft, and what they're doing is they're taking multiple people's information and combining it to create a new person. And so that makes it a lot harder to track. But if they're the ones that have your social, well, guess what? If they're out there working, now all of a sudden, instead of making $100,000 a year, your taxes show that you made $300,000, and guess who's responsible for paying those taxes? It would be you, because it's all linked under your social. And so that's just an example of what the identity thefts are actually doing right now. Medical ID is a big one, but this is comprehensive restoration. This is what makes us different from the other companies, is that we actually will assign you a licensed private investigator. So if something happens, the same, they're open 24 hours, you can call them, say, hey, this is what happened to me, I think I'm a victim of identity theft, and they can actually start researching it right then and there. So with the two apps, we actually have the LegalShield and ID Shield app. And the total for both plans is actually the $49.90. And the great thing about this is that it's $24.95 per each plan. If you're single, if you're an individual, then it's the $9.95 per month. The awesome thing about this is that this is the only bill that you're going to have per month that's actually going to protect you and your family. That if you actually need it, it's not going to go up and it's not going to increase. And if you have more children that you can add to it, it's not going to increase in price. The great thing about this is just to kind of put it in perspective. How many people love Starbucks? Okay, I'm like a huge Starbucks fanatic. I'll go to Starbucks and I'll get a bacon Gouda breakfast sandwich and a coconut milk latte. So that right there is about $8, $9, depending on if I add the sugar-free mocha or the sugar-free vanilla. But say that's about $9. Well, if I go to Starbucks 3-4 times a month, which is more like 3-4 times a week, that's the cost of the membership right here. Just to put it in perspective, if you go out, if you and your spouse go out, that's $50 worth of food right there. And we're talking about something that's going to protect you and your family over and over and over and provide peace of mind.